Hello and welcome to the Lower Decks Star Trek review. There will be spoilers, even though it's a cartoon show. I don't know. Do we need spoilers for cartoon shows? Spoiler warnings? And let's get to it, guys, because I will tell you the truth, okay? I'll be totally honest with you. I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to watch Lower Decks, and not anything against Lower Decks itself. I'm just not a big fan of modern cartoons. And this cartoon had some of the same issues that I usually have with a lot of modern cartoons, which is a lot of screaming. It's very fast paced. What can I say? I'm an old fogey. But I said to myself, well, I should watch it. One, because it's a nice lead in to Discovery, because it's really cool what they're doing with this thing of there's going to be a week of Trek just forever now, right? I hope that we can get into this rhythm where there'll always be some Star Trek on TV at some point, which is awesome if I think about growing up and knowing that I didn't always have Star Trek on TV, or we would just have these long gaps. I mean, there was that little time in the mid to early 90s where we had TNG, DS9, and Voyager all going at the same time, which was pretty cool if you ask me. But what we have now is just this renaissance of Trek, and hopefully we won't get too much Trek to the point where people just get sick of it and not want to see any more. But we get a little bit for everybody. So anyway, guys, this is my first time, by the way, trying to stream via OBS. So forgive me if I may sound a little distant or off, because I'm not even sure if I'm streaming correctly or not. In fact, I'm doing this privately and I'm just gonna go for it. This is technically a test stream, but if it turns out okay, I'll just make it public afterwards and will just do my best to you know, continue doing these on Thursday nights after the premiere. So this is a review of episode 1 and episode 2. Episode 1 is called Second Contact, and episode 2 is called Envoys. And my first impressions is that I thought it was cute. I don't think it was anything groundbreaking. It's definitely nice if you're a Star Trek fan. I think it gives a lot of good callbacks to the things that even we as Trekkies make fun of, like how every Klingon name has an apostrophe, and when one of the characters was doing training to be a bridge officer, he went into the holodeck and he had the option of doing the Janeway protocol, and then just like crazy stuff happened. Like anything could happen with the Janeway protocol. So if you're a Trek fan, you'll get all the in jokes. I don't know how funny this show would be for people outside of Star Trek, but I don't think it's made for people outside of Star Trek. I know it was compared to Rick and Morty. I'll be honest with you, I think I've seen clips. I've seen clips of Rick and Morty. Again, it's just not my style. And I can look at these shows and I see that they're well made and they're funny and they're smart, but it's new generation stuff, right? So nothing against it. I'm not gonna be like all those folks that I can't stand with. This is not Star Trek. This is not Star Trek. It's too fast. It's too this. It's too that. When we're talking about the dramas, I'm not gonna be like that. But at the same time, I can, not be 100% a fan of it because I kind of like a different type of animation, which is a little bit slower, more pensive. And I don't think there's one animation series I've actually followed, so this might be my first one. There's ones that I've seen a lot of episodes of, Batman, the animated series, the X-Men series, Samurai Jack, and then the others that are just part of popular culture. You've seen many episodes of, like Ren and Stimpy when I was growing up, or The Simpsons. But I don't think I've ever followed a cartoon like, okay, next week on Lower Decks. So that's going to be something new for me. And it might be something new for a lot of people watching the show, but I thought it was very enjoyable. Okay. And the second episode was actually better than the first one. I thought the characters were a little bit more drawn out. By the way, this story follows this girl called Maureen, and her mate is called Boimler. Boimler, I'm trying to get these names right. And then we have Tendi, is this little green girl who comes on to join the medical staff. And then we also have Rutherford, which is a cyborg. Okay, these are the four main characters who are on the lower decks. So it's really cool. Star Trek TNG actually had an episode called Lower Decks that followed the life or the daily life of the characters that are down in the nitty gritty part of the ship, right? So anybody that's a fan, I guess, has always thought, hey, what happens to these characters down there? When for the umpteenth time, when the ship gets hit by some spatial anomaly, and they're just like, oh, there's Picard again, or there's Kirk again, trying to kill us all. So we never get their point of view. I don't know if I'd want to be on the Enterprise after a while, after so many. I mean, it must be cool if you're up on the bridge and you get to see all the action. Then it would be like the most exciting ship to be on in the galaxy. But imagine you're just one of these poor folks down in the lower decks and just being tousled back and forth every other week because Captain Kirk or Picard got into another jam. So it's kind of cool to see their point of view, and it's also cool that they do it in a comical way because it is funny in a way, right? Because it's a TV show, guys. So every week they have to have a life and death situation, even though maybe in this life of the characters, maybe it's a month that's passed where they've done nothing. They're just cruising out in space. But for us, it's like it seems like every week they're getting in some type of life and death jam. So that's kind of cool that we get to see that side. And I don't think there would have been a better way to do it other than through comedy, because it would be kind of boring to have a dramatic look at that. Although I will say this, when I first heard about Discovery coming out, and they said that it wasn't going to focus on the captain, it would focus on a different character, right? I don't know if they said it was a first officer at first, but I was kind of interested in the idea of, we've always seen it from the captain's point of view. It'd be kind of cool to see the action, but from the point of view of those around the captain. What do his or excuse me, what do his or her decisions, how do his and her or her decisions affect everybody else on board? So that part is kind of, well, I thought would be kind of cool, but hey, would it have worked? That's the question, right? Would it have worked on a day to day basis? Because I think you do need to have a little bit of high drama, and you can only really have live drama if you are dealing with the main characters up top. So right here, guys, I'm just writing the title here of the episode. So it's episode 1 and 2, if you're just joining. Episode 1 and 2 of Lower Decks. I finally got around to seeing it, and I'm just giving you a quick review of what I thought of the episodes. The first episode is called Second Contact, which is nice, right? You can already tell the jokey nature of the show. Instead of First Contact, it's Second Contact. And the second episode is called Envoys. And excuse me, so if anybody just happens to come on the stream while I'm here, it's now public. I just made it public. So, man, OBS, if anybody here uses OBS and has any tips on how to make it easier to stream via OBS, I would be so thankful because, oh my goodness, it's a pain in the butt. But I didn't want to use up my StreamYard stream and I didn't want to show my face by just going straight via YouTube. And straight via YouTube, you can't have, that's all I want, just an image like that. You can't do that if it's straight via YouTube. So I am doing my best to make this live stream via OBS. Okay. And we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully, it'll be cool. I'll be back every Thursday. Okay, from now on, because Thursday is Star Trek Day, and we'll get revved up for Star Trek Discovery Season 3. What else to say about Lower Decks? Again, I mean, it's a cartoon. I hate to say that as if I'm like, there are really awesome cartoons out there, guys. I'm not against cartoons. I'm not against animation at all, but it doesn't feel like a must watch. I mean, at least it's quick. It's like 20 minutes and you're done, and it does move very quickly. I like that they kept the A plot, B plot. We do get to see a bit of the high ranking officers, which is kind of nice. Freeman is the captain. She seems really uptight. She's got a little bit of a Lorca streak in her. She's very uptight. But then we find out, spoilers, that apparently Maureen is her daughter. Okay, so she's on the ship and she's a bit of a renegade on the ship, where she doesn't really follow orders that well. But she can't really be kicked off the ship because, hey, she was put there by Daddy, who happens to be a admiral. And so she's stuck there, and Bomlier is the by the books guy. So I like the interplay between the two of them. I thought it was cute, where she's a real badass and free spirit, and I like how they have that little bit of a mean streak about her saying, "Hey, the Federation isn't always perfect." The first episode, Second Contact, which was really crazy with the zombie. It was like a zombie apocalypse on the starship they're on, which I haven't memorized the name of yet, so forgive me for that. But it was a little bit. It's the Cerritos. The Baumler is the by the books guy, and they're all ensigns. They're all young kids, and they're on this planet. And what happens is that this first officer named Ransom, he gets what do you call it, bit or stung by some insect down there, and he brings this deadly virus onto the ship, and they all go zombie apocalypse. And Marine, Mariner, I keep calling her Marine. It's because I forgot to put the R right here when I wrote it on the piece of paper. Mariner, she decides that she wants to help the farmers on this planet. She wants to do something off the books. And her mom is actually the one that says, "Hey, watch her." She asks Boimler to watch. Boimler's played by Jack Quaid, and Tawny Newsome does the voice for Beckett Mariner. I'm on the wiki page now, so I get all these names right. These streams will get better as we go along, guys. First one's always rough, especially since I haven't done them in a long time. I gotta get back in my Star Trek mode. So, but it was kind of cool that they had, like, even in this 20-minute short, they were able to show a little bit of, hey, we can't trust the suits all the time, which I think it's something nice to put into Star Trek. I love the utopia of Star Trek, but nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate it when we get to see little cracks in the armor, because the cracks in the armor is what makes our characters fight for that utopia, right? For that a hopeful vision of the future. But if everything's perfect, what are you fighting for, right? And Star Trek's always about reflecting. It's a mirror, so we can look at ourselves, look at our society, and say, hey, our society can achieve more. It can be better than. And where are those little cracks in the armor where we can fix stuff? Where are these little cracks? Let's try to fix them. Let's try to get them just right. And we don't have to go dark 100%, But even when we do go in the shadows, shadows only going to make the light brighter when we get out, right? So it's kind of cool that this little episode, Second Contact, broached that subject. Whereas the second episode was much more of a character episode. So I think I liked that one a little bit more because we got to know a little bit more about the different ensigns, how they operated, especially Rutherford and Tendy, which seemed to be having a little bit of a romance being sparked between the two of them, which I thought was really nice. And we really focused on these ensigns and their dreams, their aspirations, what they want to be moving forward. So that was cool. That was really cool. I kind of wish the last little scene in the episode wasn't there because the the whole premise is that Mariner and Boimler had to take this Klingon named Orin, I think, to a peace accord meeting, whatever. And on the way, the guy's like a drunk Klingon. He wants to stop over on this other planet, make a pit stop, and to find him, Boimler does everything wrong. He just doesn't get things right. And then at the very end, this little Ferengi pops out, and he's like, "I have a ship if you want to take the ship, human," and he's being extra Ferengi. And Mariner's like, "Oh, that's not a Ferengi, it's a shapeshifter." And Boimler's like, "No, no, I think it's definitely a Ferengi." She's like, "You've been wrong about everything." He's like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's a Ferengi." Ends up he's right. It was a Ferengi that was gonna um, stab them and not stab them, mug them, and it gave Boimler that up that he needed because he was ready to give up Starfleet because he's like, I'm so by the book, like you do everything right, Mariner, and I do everything wrong. You're so much better than me. And she gave him this really nice talk about, hey, Starfleet needs by the book people as much as they need kick-ass badass people like me. It was a beautiful moment. It was a cute moment. And then at the end he even got to like joke about her and how hey she thought this he was a Ferengi on at the bar at 10 forward, their version of 10 forward. Um and then we find out spoilers that she had planted this Ferengi there. It was like a friend of hers, and I was like, oh, that sucked, because then it didn't really all his character growth was all fake. Like she set up his character growth, like he didn't actually know what he was doing. He only did it because she set him up. If the episode had just ended there, that would have been cool, because it would have shown that yeah, Starfleet does need this type of person. Life needs those type of people. Life needs our book smart people, and it needs our by the gut people. You need your by the book and your by the gut people. So, um, oh, here it's telling me to check the video resolution, which is not optimal, but whatever. I got a good connection, I think. So, that's about it, guys. Next week, if this stream turns out well, I will keep these settings, and next week I will talk a little bit better, hopefully, about what I thought of episode three. But so far, Star Trek Lower Decks, yeah, it's a cute show. It's not something I'm excited about, like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode. The jokes were okay. I mean, they're cute. They're funny jokes. There are a lot of in jokes that made me chuckle, especially in the second episode more than in the first one. So maybe it'll get funnier, but it's not something that made me laugh just on a general level. Like, oh my god, that's really smart writing, or like, oh, that's really look how cynical that is, or this joke really expresses something in society or in the world that is really funny. No, it's basically a Trekkie insiders club, and you'll get some of the jokes, you'll get the references, and it'll make you chuckle maybe, but it's not like laugh out loud funny. At least it wasn't for me. So, out of 5 stars, I don't know. No, I don't like to do 5 stars. Let's say out of 10, I'd give it like a 6. Episode 1 maybe a 6, episode 2 maybe a 7. You know, it was watchable, it was fun, it was cute, and it'll probably get better. I think I got viewers on. If I do, hello. Like I said at the beginning, this is my first attempt at doing a stream via OBS, which may or may not be working. I will find out after I turn this off. So the beginning of this stream was a bit, my brain wasn't completely in it, but I think I kind of got into the groove now. But I'm more or less done now. But if you want to say hello and if you want to say what you thought of Star Trek Lower Decks, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to engage you in the conversation. It's not a problem. But watch out for these videos every Thursday. Okay, after it comes on, and we'll definitely be revving up for the Discovery ones, because Discovery, those were hot. I miss doing my post Discovery Star Trek, post Picard too. So I have a bunch of those in the playlist. They were a lot of fun to do and got a lot of views. Okay, and it seems like my stream has died for no reason because it says that my stream will stop if I don't restart the stream. Oh, there you go. Anyway, that's it, guys. Uh, like I said, a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, maybe for the second episode. I thought it was a cute show, and I will check it out again next week. And if I just get bored with it, then I'll just tell you, hey, I'm bored with it and I don't feel like doing these streams anymore, because cartoon series are really not something that I follow, especially not comedy cartoon series. Maybe if it's a drama cartoon series, I have there's a better chance of me following it, but a comedy one, I really don't see. It doesn't attract me in the same way. It's something that, I'll watch one week, not watch the next, watch 2 months later, like The Simpsons or South Park or any of those. I love them when I watch them, the Boondocks, but it's not something that I follow. Like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. So hopefully this will keep my attention. It'll be my first attempt at actually watching a cartoon series week after week, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Until next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.